Services, yes, it's very
Space.
Space. I understand. You said, sorry, Paul? Emotional experiences. Yes. A memorable experience for sure. That's what we sell. Emotions, as you said, and feelings. Great. And we do not work with machines in order to do this. I'm sure you all know. We work with people. And for example, in the engineer domain, in construction domains, we have an construction engineer who uses tools such as, I don't know, bor machina, what else do we have? Bricks and, help me here, you understand the idea. Drills, perfect. And he has abilities such as working with AutoCAD or having spatial intelligence or learning trigonometry. If we move this to the hospitality industry, we talk about people who need skills such as empathy at the level of skills, of enhancing these skills. Then we talk about listening skills, we talk about asking questions and the right questions. These are the ability used in the hospitality industry. And the one other aspect why we call it an industry, and it's a personal perspective, I would be happy to hear yours also, is that, for example, for our hotel, JW Marriott, here in Bucharest, to operate 402 rooms, we are depending on at least 100 suppliers in our country and around the world. Because the pillows that we use in the rooms, the forks and knives in the restaurant, the carrots and the cabbage in the kitchen, and so on, they come from the suppliers. And we impact also other industries around us. That's why it's another argument why we call it an industry. And you will see later on what I mean. I must clarify an aspect regarding the hotel I'm representing. You see there JW Marriott, and I'm sure and I truly hope that by now you've heard about Marriott, and again I hope that you associated, just like me as a proud employee, with quality, high standards and luxury. Are you with me on this side? Good, so I know if I should be nervous or good. The aspect is that JW Marriott is just one of the 18 brands that Marriott is using around the world. And just to have it here in mind, we talk about 4 continents, we talk about 72 countries, and nearly 3,900 properties around the world. And Razvan was talking about globalization, and one more reason to talk about how big this industry is. You have a question, Paul? I was hoping for this. Okay, another slide will help you understand. I'm not fond of numbers, but bear with me so I can explain you something very interesting. JW Marriott, out of 3,900 properties, it's a very selected group of only 52 hotels around the world. If you see here, it's an overview of the Europe brands of Marriott. And we talk about only 5 JW Marriott hotels in Europe. We have one in Ankara, we have one in Azerbaijan, in Baku, JW Marriott in Cannes, and JW Marriott in Grosvenor House in London. These are our brand competitors in Europe. If you see right there, we have the signature hotel, Marriott Hotels and Resorts, represented by 87 hotels in Europe. And coming Courtyard by Marriott is in the 4-star segment, and coming soon in Milan, in Italy, in September 2014, the first hotel in the 3 stars business segment, Moxie Hotels. Moxie Hotels, why? Because Y generation likes this name, Moxie. It sounds appealing to them. Let's go further and understand why. Today I'm going to talk together with you about Y generation regarding the guests, how they transformed, and Y generation regarding the new employees. But I must again clarify one aspect. John Willard Marriott, when he founded the company, based everything on a very good foundation and a very simple one. He said, I don't want the employees to be called employees. I want them to be called associates, because only through a partnership we can actually deliver experiences to the guest. So in all the hotels, we are called associates. Could you please go back a little bit? You see there at the bottom that we operate only in Europe 282 hotels, properties, with a number of 52,000 rooms. Why do you think it's important to count the rooms?
For the turnover.
Sorry.
For the turnover.
For the turnover, very important, yes.
And the social impact in the economy of the city.
Social impact. We see again how big is this industry?
And people.
And people, yes, very important. It is said that for one hotel room, we need 0.9 associates to operate correctly. So you can do the math and maybe see how many associates work in hotels by Marriott in Europe. Somewhere over 40,000 associates. Thank you. We talk about generations, and you will see in the graphic behind that the generations are split into the years of birth. We talk about silent generation, those among us who were born between 25 and 45, baby boomers, 46, 64, Generation X, 65, 76, and Generation Y, 77 and 92. And I'm already feeling the new wave of the Generation Z. I don't know what they are going to start, maybe again with the alphabet A, B, and C. But I'm receiving CVs on my email with youngsters born in 1996. So they are 19 years old. And I have to adapt my mindset to see these youngsters as already beginners, professionals in this industry. And it's, this is how this change affects. So we are going to talk about the Y generation. But first of all, a Y generation when it concerns the guests, the travelers. Let me ask you, who among us, before, let's say, choosing a restaurant, going to a doctor, going to a movie, or choosing a vacation destination, goes on Google or TripAdvisor and search it and asks for reviews and recommendations? Okay. We talk about Y generation of guests, us today present here. And more than this, as a company, for our guests, I know that this is a required, not a preferred aspect. It's required. So if they go online and they search JW Marriott in Bucharest, for sure, I want them to find positive comments. And let me give you just a comparison how the feedback was gathered from the guests not more than 4 or 5 years ago. The guest would come to the reception, he would go through the check-in process, he would go to the room, and he would find next to his bed, or maybe on the desk he was working, even in the toilet, yes, a paper form, a paper feedback form. He would fill it in or not, bring it to the reception at the checkout or not. We could have collected it in the cleaning segment. And a responsible associate was gathering all these feedbacks throughout the month. At the end of the month, all the feedback forms were put in an envelope and sent to a third-party company to analyze it. So the envelope would reach this company in 1 week. The company would need 2 weeks to process the feedback and summarize the feedback, and 1 week to come back to us, so at the end of the next month. Imagine how late our response to a complaint would have been, how difficult the recovery program of a guest would have been, has been actually, and how difficult for us to actually impact or change the experiences they have. Today, and I'm not exaggerating, what I presented you as 1 month goes instantly. And I'm not exaggerating, it's actually seconds. Because imagine the same guest coming to the check-in, and in JW Marriott the standard is 7 minutes for a check-in. And in these 7 minutes the guest goes on Facebook and writes check-in at JW Marriott. And then maybe he goes in the JW Steakhouse and says check-in at JW Steakhouse eating a cheesecake. And imagine how instantly so many virtual friends will see that he said, oh, the receptionist is very friendly, or the receptionist is bored today. and everything will be connected in the same time to that thing. But the more interesting is that us, as a hotel, adapting to the change, are connected in the same time also. Yes. We have a system of gathering the feedback from the guests that help us collect feedback or comments they put on every social media they may use, even if we talk about TripAdvisor or Facebook or Twitter or what else, Booking.com. Every comment that will appear about JW Marriott in these social media channels will be directed to us through a system called Guest Voice. For sure, after the guest has stayed in our hotel, we send him through his email address a guest satisfaction survey, right? And did anyone fill in any guest satisfaction survey from a hotel?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
A sort of brand verification software.
Yes, it's a software, and talking about changes, we have adapted to smartphones, tablets, and everything, so we can make it easy. But we have two types: the quantitative part, yes, where he gives us marks from 10, which is excellent, to 1, which is very opposite of excellence, and we only take into consideration the 9 and 10. The rest is like in the guest alert area. And if we talk about, sorry.
It uses a sort of semantic analysis.
Yes, yes, in this way. But close to the quantitative feedback, we have this qualitative feedback that we are receiving instantly, so it helps us impact the experience of the guest as he is in our hotel, which is extraordinary. Who are the associates, remember, employees, that could better serve these demanding guests that we are having? Demanding, and we are glad they are like this. We are glad they give us feedback because this is improvement. Who are the associates? The best mixture, I must tell you, is the best way to serve these guests is a very good mixtures between generations. And what you will see there is what different generations bring in a guest experience. All the associates for sure will bring on-the-job expertise. They bring and move forward the culture and the values of the company, and are the best trainers for the newcomers. If we talk about the young generation, they will bring new ways to do things. They will bring the technology ideas, innovations. They will change and impact everything that's happening around. So the best way to operate the hotel at a very high level standards is a very good mixtures between generations. But if we separate them now and we talk only about Y generation now, in order to bring loyalty of these demanding Y generations travelers, guests, we need to attract, retain, engage and retain the best new generation associates, employees. And we have discovered, and I'm sure you already know them, that there are 4 main ingredients that makes an employee be attracted of a company, remain there, and work engaged. The first ingredient is meaningful work, and I want to clarify this with you, or to get your feedback also. For us, the Y generation, meaningful work is very important. For Y generation, it's not everything about money. We want to see the impact, we want to see the results, we want to have the feeling of belonging to a family. This is actually what attracts us more than actually money. What do you think? Do you feel you belong to this first ingredient? I hope the perspectives are different. The second ingredient is the smart technology. Then Y generation is savvy, and us as companies, we must become savvy if we are not. Passionate about computers, being present on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on all the other channels we've talked about before. And Generation Z, it's already presented in our discussion, that they are born connected. We say like this. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a commercial today. I don't know what for, with a grandfather and his son using the finger, and he will say, with this finger you bring sun. With this finger you will change the world.
Orange.
Sorry.
Orange.
Okay, I didn't want to go in this. The third ingredient is authentic connection. Why generation, further employees, they want to talk with, not to be talked at, and they prefer for sure the dialogue and not the monologue. And that means they want to be consulted, they want to be, they want their opinions to be implemented, they want to have a voice in what's happening. So management by fear would never work with this Y generation. They will understand and apply the rules only if they feel it, only if they understand the meaning and the impact. They will discuss it, they will challenge it, they will question it. This is how we as a company should change, because we have a rule from the height of the heels to the length of the earring, to how we wear the beard and how long my sleeves should be. So if we come with these standards on a Y generation associate without explaining the impact, the further impact, and why do we use it like this, they will say, whatever, I don't need this company, I will choose another one who will offer me freedom. And the last one, it's my favorite, is that for the Y generation, the Y generation are citizens of the world. And this is extraordinarily important. They see geography as a challenge and not as a barrier. Maybe a job opportunity in Dubai, as Razvan was saying, or in Brazil would sound for them, okay, I'm moving like from one city to another. It's easy by flight, I know everything, I do it check-in, online check-in. This is how it reacts. And if they don't find in a company that the company has adapted to them, offering more travel, more experience, more information, they will not remain, they will not perform, they will not feel valued. This is the overview of the Y generation. I relate very much with this, and working in the Human Resources department, I told you before, I have to adapt my mindset. I'm delivering trainings, and I cannot deliver trainings with a PowerPoint. I have to do it experiential. I have to learn to do this, because I didn't learn it at the beginning like this. This means changes in order to adapt to the new generation, make it engaged, and retain it in the company. You were saying the turnover. Okay. If you have any questions so far. Not so far, because we are close to the end, but what do you think about adapting to the Y generation? Do you feel a change in this regard? Hmm? Could you elaborate? How?
Yeah, okay. First of all, my opinion is hotel sector it is not a short-term business, it's a long-term business. When we think an investment, we have to think of the future generation. So we need to think of the future. In the future. So should I start planning for the Z generation and how the CVs would look in 5 years from now? Yes. Yeah, and should we adapt the internal rules to wearing piercings and showing tattoos? I'm sure we will have to adapt to this too. Yeah, and I think that social media strategy and the connection with our guests will be our goal for the future. It is already. I'm not contradicting you. I feel it from this perspective. It is the main focus we are taking right now. Other opinions, please.
I just got hired with the Four Seasons Hotel, and that's considered a 5-star hotel. And when I went for my pre-training a couple weeks ago, I thought, you know, we have to wear a suit and tie, business professional, but it's not. The managers were wearing jeans with a blazer. Are you sure it was not an administrative day or a jeans day? No, only one per year? No, it's not. Because they say that, you know, people with money now are a younger generation, and they have money too, and they don't want to go into an establishment, you know, with, you know, uptight managers and wearing their business suit. So that was kind of shocking to me, but they are making some changes, you know, as far as attire goes. And you are in the Y generation, I'm sure. You are coming with the change. Good. Very interesting. What other perspectives do you want to share?
The recognition.
The recognition. Please.
Recognition about people. The new generation, they want to exchange the ideas, be recognized about the ideas that they
Offer.
give,
Yes.
they offer. They are more, they're traveling a lot, or they are traveling a lot, or they are more in contact with the rest
Citizens
of the world. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the problem is sometimes that the head of receptionists or managers, they are in another time generation, and they don't recognize the ideas, or they don't ask for ideas, or they don't listen the conversations in the lunch time or break times.
Your input is very important because we felt this need in our company also to adapt to what you were saying about the young generation. So we are actually providing trainings and the talks and group discussions on the new generation in order to better adapt to this. And I'm practically talking with old generation associates about the newcomers and about how they want to be treated. Let me give you an example. We have 402 rooms. In order to operate, we need around 330 associates, right? From 330 associates, imagine that 70 of them work in our hotel since the beginning, 14 years ago. In 2000, we opened the hotel. They participated in a very big hiring hall. And they are present today, 70 people. I'm very proud of this length of service. And with these associates of X generation, we are taking time to adapt together to the changes.
And how many times the general manager of Marriott sit down a year? So how many times a year the general manager sit down and have a coffee with the bellboy of the hotel?
I'm not checking his schedule, but he stays daily with the bellboys in the lobby. He's very present, and actually he talks with them and finds out the most extraordinary things. This is how he gets actually the pulse of the hotel.
So with the housekeepers, with the waiters, with the valets,
Yes.
listen and have informal and casual meetings. Listening.
Informal. You say.
Informal. Casual.
Let me give you an example. There are internal projects for associates. For example, in May, we have Associates Appreciation Week, which is a week specially designed for our associates with activities performed by managers in order to recognize them. We have activities like managers will be serving lunch in cafeteria. They will be the waiters. An example. We will have a competition with games from all the departments organized by managers and prizes. We will have welcoming each day, every day, when the associates come in their shift with a red carpet, and managers in shifts, they will welcome them, offer them the morning coffee, and say thank you for what you do. This is just an example of an event we are doing to mix the generations. And we have associates party, kids party, so social events, informal ones, in order to keep up with the changes. Yes. A last question? If not, I'm just going to show you how you can get in contact with us. All the jobs are posted on Marriott Career website. We are talking, if you go on Google and write Marriott Careers, you will be directed to this site. It is Marriott Where I Belong, Find Your World, just to adapt to the new generation. And search and apply for jobs now. This instrument can be used with any device you may have. This means also adapting to the technology. So just take your iPhone, your laptop, and explore the site. And yes, what I was saying. And for those of you who are passionate about the hospitality industry, and I've seen so many hands raised, and also passionate about games, you could go on Facebook or on your iPhone and download the Explore game. Did anyone play the Explore game? You can search it, you can Google it. It is you in the position of a GM managing a hotel. Just like on Facebook was Farmville. Yes, you will have your own hotel, manage it, plan how many cabbages you will buy, how many events you will have, how many weddings, how many people. So just try it out. And in order to get in contact with us here in Bucharest, for any internship opportunities or questions, we have interns from Lyon, as Razvan was mentioning, to Lausanne, to Birmingham in UK. So you can contact me. I'm Cristina Dragan at Marriott.com. And for any job opportunities and questions, you can be directed from the e-jobs or from the Marriott career site. You can contact my colleague Emanuela Anton at Marriott.com. We are happy to share with you any information or to answer any questions. Thank you very much for your patience, and I wish you have a wonderful event. Thank you.